Welcome to Module 54, Defensive Strengths and Weaknesses in a 4-2-3-1. This module will look at some of the defensive strengths and weaknesses of a 4-2-3-1 and teach you some ways to minimize the weaknesses. Let's start off by looking at some of the strengths, listed here. The first strength we will look at is the ability to effectively press and win the ball high up the field. As the highlighted goalkeeper passes it to the center back, let's watch how the blue team presses. The first thing to point out is that the 9 approaches the player at an angle, cutting off one side of the field and making play predictable. Keep your eyes on the rest of the players and their movement as we continue. Let's switch angles. We first see the right attacking midfielder tight on their outside back, and the left attacking midfielder has moved inside to keep the unit compact. The 10 will mark the opposing defensive midfielder either fronting the player or remaining goal side and tight. Here are some things, not exclusive to a 10, to think about in these instances. The center midfielders cut off passing lanes and cover the spaces behind the attacking midfield unit, and the back line has shifted as a unit, allowing the outside back on the near side to play tight to the wide attacker for the opposing team. As we can see from the white team's perspective, the blue team has pressed well in a 4-2-3-1, leaving the player with minimal options forward. The strength that we see exemplified here is the numerical advantage that will often exist in the central third of your defensive half, especially if you play more defensively with 2 6s or holding midfielders. Though it will depend on how the opponent sets up, the center backs will typically remain goal side of opposing strikers, and the center midfielders will remain in front to cut off passing lanes. The next 2 strengths we will look at are closely related. The highlighted player is in possession. When we resume, especially keep your eyes on these 3 attacking midfielders and how they recover. We can see that they are quick and disciplined in recovering goal side of the opposition, applying pressure on the ball, remaining compact, and turning the formation into a 4-5-1 in the defensive phase. Teams will have different styles and strategies around the defensive roles of the attacking midfielders, but this shows that they are able to get numbers behind the ball in this system of play. Now, let's see some potential defensive weaknesses in a 4-2-3-1, listed here. The first weakness we will look at stems from the attacking midfielders not recovering. The ball is with the highlighted center back, who, as we see, plays a long ball that is intercepted. Switching angles, we can see that at this moment, the left attacking midfielder is caught forward, and as a result, the left back here is overloaded on his side of the field. There are multiple ways to deal with this weakness if the attacking midfield line is beat. A common way is for the center midfielder on the near side to step out and delay play forward. Another variation could be the center midfielder dropping into the back line, allowing the left back to step to the ball, and the center back slide into the outside back's position. We will go into more detail about accounting for this in other 4-2-3-1 modules. In this example, we will look at the counterattacks that could result from the outside backs being encouraged to push up into the attack. It's similar to the last example, except this time the outside backs will also be caught forward. The ball is with the highlighted player. As we continue, we can see that the 7 is moving inside, inviting the 2 to overlap. But as we continue further, we see that the player gives away possession, and there is currently lots of space left exposed with options going forward. It's crucial for the 2 center midfielders here to recognize these situations and have at least one hold position to deal with a counterattack. As mentioned, we will learn about additional ways to avoid these types of situations in other modules, as well as learn some ways to deal with them if they do occur. The last potential weakness is related to pressing with the front 4. While it can be a strength when executed correctly, it can be a potential weakness as a result of the setup. Because there is technically one lone striker, the front 4 must press together. This of course can be difficult, and if they do not press effectively, their whole line could be eliminated. Before moving on, please review what we went over in this video.